that you have given us a few minutes or an hour plus of your time today. So welcome to today's session. All right. So while we get into it as quickly as possible, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Oluwatobi Okafor. I'm a senior cybersecurity specialist. And having said that, I'd like to get to know everyone that has joined me in this session. All right, so I'd like to know your name and I'd like to know where you're joining us from. So I'm Oluwatobi Okafor. I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. Where are you all joining from? Please do all to use the chats. I would be waiting for your answers. Okay, awesome. Beautiful. I have Benaniah from Canada. Benaniah, it's good to have you on this session with us. I have Samuel, who's joining from Port Harcourt. I have Nana from Kenya. Nana, do I have your name pronounced properly? I, I know Ghanaians call it Nana, so I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it properly. Oh, thank you, Nana. Okay. I have Onokwe from Lagos. I have Ahmed from Lagos. It's good to have you all on this call with me. It's quite exciting to walk you through the tool we're going to be dealing with today, which is called Nexus. Now, this is one of the most amazing tools in the cybersecurity field. Why? Because this tool helps you find problems before they become problems. Hi, if Unanya, yes. Hi, Ifunaya from Newi. It's good to have you on this call with me. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, beautiful. Now that I know some of us that are on the call with me, I'm waiting for the others. So please, I will still be reading out what you send in to me. All right, thank you. So let's just get into it. Why are we here today? We're here because our goal is to understand how to identify potential security risks in medical devices using Nexus. Now, I believe that some of us have either worked in the medical field or we have had cause to interact with certain medical devices. So say you go into the hospital, they want to check your temperature, they use a thermometer and they put it on your head. That's a device because it has to send the information to their database. Do we believe me? Right? Okay. We also have their heart monitor, we have their ventilator, we have, thank you, Oluwaseun. Yeah, so we have these different devices that we use in the medical field that actually carry a lot of information. Now, I want us to do a quick circle back. I'd like somebody, anybody at all, to tell me what they believe cybersecurity is, right? The purpose of this is because we all need to understand that there is no area you go into, whether it is a big tech company, whether it is a food producing organization, whether it is a manufacturer, whether it's somebody that drives cars, whether it's somebody that sells clothes, as long as they store data for clients, they have something they have to be security conscious about. All right. So I'd like, while I walk us through who brought us here today and I introduce you to my colleague, I'd like somebody in the comment section or the chat section to tell me what they believe cybersecurity is. Please, I will be waiting for your responses. And while I'm waiting for your responses, I'd like to introduce you to the person that brought us here today, which is Tenalytics. And I know by now we already know that Tenalytics is amongst the leading edtech companies in the world, right? And this is because we are very focused on providing specialized training in technical and technology skills gain, as well as ensuring that you are able to bring your best every time you come having learned with us or having been a part of our programs. And we have over 5 years of experience in this field, and we have been blessed enough to build absolutely awesome talents in the technology workforce, right? We've helped over, right? I think we're at about 3,000 and counting, right? That we have been able to help move from classroom into either their first tech jobs or transition from their current roles into a different role in the tech sector. And we have been able to achieve this across different continents, different countries, including the UK, the US, Canada, Europe, across everywhere, right? I don't believe there is any continent you would go to right now that you will not find at least one analytics student. I believe I can make that post, right? We also have made it a commitment of ours to impact premium and experiential training and knowledge into everyone that comes into our program in fields like cybersecurity, data analysis, data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, data science, financial analytics, and so much more. We even offer AI engineering as of right now. We have awesome instructors who bring their best to fore when imparting knowledge into every one of our students. And like you heard the lady in the last video say, we do not leave you hanging. We don't leave you halfway. We walk you from the beginning to the end. As long as you are willing to come, we are willing to give you all the help you need to get into your dream tech job or role. All right. Now, like I said before, my name is Oluwatobi Okafor, right? But I'd like to tell you a little bit more about myself. So I am an information security analyst with years of experience in different parts of cybersecurity, but most notably vulnerability assessment, threat detection, pen testing, amongst others. I currently serve as a senior cybersecurity specialist at Analytics, and I have been blessed to guide over 100 individuals with no prior tech background into cybersecurity. Like I said before, my experience is quite diverse. I say that with humble brag, right? I am currently a member of the ISC2, which is like a body of cybersecurity. I also hold certain certifications in different areas, including CCNA, ISO, IEC 2001, amongst others. And these experiences have helped me to be a better tutor, a better teacher, a better specialist, a better analyst, right? And the fact that I have been able to use what I learn both on the job and in my learning to build a lot of projects, to impact a lot of lives is one of my greatest I think I call it achievements, right, in my journey. And my goal is to ensure that everybody that comes across cybersecurity gets to leave this program or this field enjoying it. You see how she said she enjoyed coming to class, she enjoyed learning. That's the goal of every analytics tutor that you'd encounter. Our goal is to make you enjoy going through our programs and having the assurance that you did not leave as you came, right? I also have an amazing, awesome colleague of mine with me, Prince Muidin Akani, and Prince is somebody I respect so much, not just because he has a wealth of experience in business intelligence and data analytics, but because he's also somebody you refer to as a growth catalyst. He's somebody that every organization he has worked with has felt his impact. He has worked in the tech sector, he has worked in finance, he has worked in FMCGs, he has worked in logistics, he's even worked in health tech, and everywhere he has worked, he has made impact. And he is one of the people that mentor and has helped over 500 people, right, transition into tech and land their first jobs. So imagine having all of this wealth of knowledge and experience guiding you through your cybersecurity and your tech journey as a whole, right? Isn't analytics how to give you the best? Right? Now, back to where we're here today, right? Okay. We're here today because we want to first and foremost learn how to identify potential security risks in medical devices using Nessus, especially as somebody who is new to the field of cybersecurity. And then we're also here to learn how to get started and become a cybersecurity analyst that uses these tools effortlessly. And then we are going to ensure that after we have figured all this out, we're going to become the next success story. Because when you hear other people telling you what they have achieved, right, having gone through our programs, why can't it be you, right? If they can do it, why can't you do it as well, right? Like one of my students will say, they don't have two heads, right? And you have all the support that Analytics has to offer to achieve this success story, right? So I asked the question earlier. I said, what is cybersecurity, especially to you as somebody on this call with me? And I believe I have some answers in my chat, so I'm going to go through them. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Okay, so I see that I have Okonkwo Ifunaya says that cybersecurity, I believe, is protecting information on the computer. I think the new phrase is clock it, right? That's the new phrase, clock it. Do I have that correct? Awesome. Now, there is also the fact that she says, I think it's a she, but I'm going to just use they. Right? They say that whether it's a personal or company information, the goal is to protect the information on that device, right? Thank you, Funaya. Then Oluwaseun says that cybersecurity is protecting different information from hackers. Thank you, Oluwaseun. That's actually very, very correct. We also have Benaniah saying that cybersecurity is basically protecting data and information against cyber threats or attacks. Clock it. I think I don't know what the answer to use, but yeah, that is it. That is it. Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited. This is beautiful. Thank you, Funaya. It's a she. Thank you for that correction. I appreciate it. So, Funaya, thank you for that definition. It was actually very, very correct, right? So cybersecurity, we say, is the practice of protecting systems. So everybody that has answered so far actually got it correct, because the goal in cybersecurity is what? To protect. Now, how you protect can be determined, but the goal is protecting data, systems, and networks, right? And the primary role of every cybersecurity analyst is to ensure that confidentiality, integrity, and availability is retained and maintained with every digital information and or resource, right? And these three things I just mentioned are referred to as the pillars of cybersecurity, or the CIA triad. And why do we call it this? We call it these names because these are the principles upon which cybersecurity itself stands. Without these three, every other principle, every other value, every other ethic or moral in cybersecurity is really doesn't have a, I think, a foot, I would say, to stand on. All right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, when you hear about medical devices, I think I mentioned it when we started, right? What kind of devices come to mind outside of the thermometer that I mentioned in my example at the start of this session? I know we watch a lot of films. We watch, I think we watch 911. There's also, I think, I don't know if Rookie shows hospital scenes. I'm not really a series fan, so I need you all to help me here, right? I know there's a medical series going on right now that they're saying is really realistic. It matches the current scenes in the medical field right now. Who can help me with those series? Grey's Anatomy. Thank you. See, if Naya watches series, I don't watch them, but I know that people enjoy this series a lot. Thank you, Funaya. Grey's Anatomies will show you certain tools. I think you have ventilators, you have defibrillators. These are machines that bring back the I don't know what you call these things, but the electricity in layman terms around the nerves and the heart, right? But all of these tools are connected to something. When they are checking the heart rate or the heart monitor, I think it's called the heart monitor, this tool is connected to the network because it has to transmit data to either the nurse's station or the doctor that is caring for the patient, I believe, right? Now, in today's day and age, it's even worse because every single thing. I think there was an episode, Ifunanya and those who love Grey's Anatomy, please correct me if I'm wrong. There was an episode where I'm not sure if it was Dr. Bailey or Meredith Grey. I'm not sure which one of them it was that needed blood. And then they had this new doctor who had been flagged by whether it was FBI or CIA because in his teenage years he had done certain things that made him get banned from using anything that connects to the internet. But then they got hacked around that period and they couldn't access blood. They couldn't do a number of things. So this person gave them a roundabout way to circumvent the system and still access all their resources. Who can remember this particular episode? I saw it in a short, so don't think I watch it. I'm not that kind of, I don't have that kind of patience to watch series. It's not one and done. I'm not one of them, right? But I know that I saw that episode because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fact that there was a pointer to the need for cybersecurity conscious people in the medical field, right? And I believe, oh, you didn't watch it either. Okay, but thank you for the pointer, the example you gave me, right? So this points to the fact that whether you are in medicine, whether you are a food vendor, whether you are a logistics company, whether you are even a clothes seller like Marks and Spencer's, you have to have cybersecurity aware people in your field because in today's day and age, everything is connected to a network. Everything is synced to something or the other. Everything has to speak to something or the other, whether they're in the same space or in a different space. And the internet is how we speak to each other. So see how Ifunanya is in a different country, I am in a different country, or a different state, I beg your pardon. I believe that Benaya is in Canada, I'm in Nigeria. Prince is in a different space, I'm in a different space. A large number of us are not even in the same place, even if we're in the same state, but we are still all able to talk to each other, right? That is the logic of the internet and the interconnected networks and web, right? But the issue is that with this kind of ease also comes a lot of risks, right? This is why a lot of these devices have become problematic to the areas they are found within, right? And because they are part of this same system of computers and servers, it means that if at some point maybe their printer has a security flaw, it was not updated, they didn't change the default login details that came with it, it becomes an entry point for hackers to get into the hospital systems, like Oluwaseun has said in a description of cybersecurity, right? And you know that the end goal of unethical or malicious hackers is to manipulate data, right? This is why we consider that certain types of medical devices can be considered as risky. Now, in comes Nessus, our favorite cyber doctor. Now, Nessus is referred to as a cyber doctor, one, because it works like the emergency doctor. You know, when you go to the emergency room, God forbid you had an accident or you have a stomach bug that refuses to go, or something that requires you to leave the comfort of your home, leave the over-the-counter medication, and actually walk into a clinic or a hospital. Those people that help you without question, check the issues, tell you what the issues can be, and refer you to a specialist or give you a measure of relief and solutions, right? Is exactly what Nessus is in this scenario, right? Nessus is that person that is that doctor that comes in and says, okay, I'm in Ifunaya's house. Ifunanya has called, Ifunanya has come to me and said, oh, she'd like to get checked. She's been having this severe back pain for the past 1 week, or she notices that her eyes twitch when she looks at the lights. I'm that doctor that will now say, oh, okay, I'd like to check what is going on with Ifunaya's eyes or what's going on with Ifunaya's back, right? Ifunanya in this case is the system, and in this case, I am Nessus. And what does Nessus check for? It checks for, okay, you say you have having issues, right? Do you have outdated software or firmware? Did you update your software? Did you update your firmware? That is your device's hardware versions. Do you change your passwords? And if you change your password, did you use strong passwords? Or did you just use Ifunanya 2025 as your password? right? Then you also have it check for missing security patches. This is where there's an issue with a particular device or the computer or printer or anything at all in that space, right? And they're supposed to have updated it to get that fix in, and they didn't do it. It checks for that too. Then in the case where maybe they were supposed to have given, so maybe we have Benanaya, we have Ifunaya, we have Oluwaseun as people in the space that work with that machine or that device. And maybe Ifunaya is supposed to be system admin, Benanaya is supposed to be a regular user, and Oluwaseun was supposed to be a manager. And then in configuring, we now give everybody privileges that should only be given to the system admin. That's a misconfiguration, right? That's giving everybody the master key to your house, right? So it checks for these kind of things too. And then it also checks that, okay, do we have any openings that should not be open? Because we refer to network ports as openings. It's similar to how your house has doors and windows. The network has doors and windows too. So entry points for certain things, right? So it also check that, did you leave a window open? Did you leave a door open? Right? Those are the things that Nessus checks for, right? And when it does check for these things, whatever it finds, it then scores them according to how bad it is or how mild it is and how it would negatively impact the environment within which that device operates. So it's like saying that you're using a laptop in your office and it has all of these issues that we have talked about so far, and nobody has fixed it. If a malicious hacker gets access into that space, what Nessus is telling you is that depending on how bad that particular device is, it can either destroy your environment, destroy your ability to access your data, and or it can just disallow you from accessing your data for a time, right? So depending on how bad it is, Nessus will also tell you, so that as a team, you can now know where to start from. It can tell you, oh, please don't give Oluwaseun and Benanaya super admin or system admin privileges. Remove that privilege. That's mild. You can quickly fix it, even though the repercussions or the impact can be bad, but the current risk is relatively low because it can be fixed immediately, right? These are the things that Nessus will also show you, similar to how emergency doctor will tell you, quickly fix these issues and then go and see a specialist, right? If you have to. And then it also goes further. You know the fact that it's an hospital, right? It can have a large number of laptops, desktops, printers, fax machines, scanners, all these things in it that are connected to their network, right? Now, to find all these devices and to know where they are in the network, right? Teams have to use what we call network discovery tools. We have what we call Net Discover, which we teach you how to use when we come into our program Internalytics. We have also Nmap, which we teach you thoroughly how to use. We also have Nessus's inbuilt discovery feature, which we call Host Discovery. Okay, what all these tools do is they list every device and their IP address. So an IP address is basically the location of a device on the network. Okay, and the idea of this is that once they have been identified, then let us now go to that. Okay, let me scan for vulnerabilities attached to every device that I have found, or selected devices that you have asked me to search based on what I have found. Do you understand? So it comes in quietly, safely. It checks everywhere, checks all the operating systems, checks the open ports, and tells you based on the database that we have for common vulnerability exposures, which we call CVEs, that, okay, you have these issues or you do not have these issues. So basically, it's like it opens the eyes of the cybersecurity teams to all the risks attached to the devices within the medical environment of either that hospital or that space. All right. Do we have any questions so far? Do we have any questions so far? Any questions? Okay. I'll be waiting for your questions in the chat so that I can attend to them as they come in. Awesome. So today I want us to look at a case study of a health tech organization, similar to one where my colleague Prince had worked in. that has an issue currently. Now, this is how we actually impart knowledge into analytics, right? We don't just tell you about the tool and talk and talk and talk. No, we tell you about the tool, and then we receive case studies, which we refer to as projects, from health tech companies, and we use these projects to teach you how to use the tool. So basically, you're not left hanging, you're not left to just wing it by yourself. We tell you, okay, this tool can do this, and this, and come, let me show you in a real life scenario how this tool can work. So this is what we're going to do today. Do a quick walkthrough of how Nexus can and typically works. All right. So if you notice, Adriac actually has been expanding. They are an health tech company that has been building for a while. They've built a large number of medical devices and helps hospitals and medical bodies use them, right? So from monitoring systems to infusion pumps to dispensary devices to diagnostic scanners, basically for hospitals and clinics across the world, right? And because they have to interact with real-time data of patients, right? Basically, they have to share data from the scanner to the pumps, from the pumps to the nurse stations, and all of this. It means that they have to consciously come with a mind of being efficient when it comes to their cybersecurity aspects, because obviously, if you impact data privacy of your patients, you have basically flouted a lot of laws, from the HIPAA law to the GDPR law. These are laws in different continents and different countries that safeguard or create the rules by which we safeguard data of everybody. So whether it is me, whether it is you, as long as you are either a citizen or a resident of wherever this particular data is being stored or being used, you have a right to have your data protected, right? And we already all know this, which is why you are able to sue certain bodies for exposing your data, or have certain bodies fined, like the case of Marks and Spencer's, who got fined a lot of money in the past year, in this year in particular, because they had about almost, I think, 4 major data breaches, right? Now, imagine the fact that even Adriac's internal team is now noticing that there's certain things going on within their network traffic that is starting to cause them a cause for concern, right? Starting to make them worry, starting to make them think, okay, what could be going wrong? What could be going on in our environment? Okay, so they went ahead to perform an internal audit, and this told them that, oh, they have a large number of medical devices running on Windows Embedded 7. Now, Windows Embedded 7 is basically saying they're running on an older or a very old version of the Windows operating system. I know we all know Windows 7, right? Windows 7 was, I don't know, maybe early 2010s or late 2000s, right? Yes, I will show you. It is actually a part of what you can use to understand if your organization is compliant. It's a tool that helps you know this, right? I will show you. Thank you for that question, Benanaya. Okay, so like I was saying, right, we refer to these kind of devices as legacy devices. What that means is that they should never be connected to the internet. If at all they have to be used, and if they don't have to be used, or they need to see the internet, then there has to be a need to change or upgrade their firmware and their software. Right? Now, they also found that they are also still using default admin credentials. What that means is that somebody can sign in from anywhere, because default is basically saying username is admin, password is admin, or even admin as the username and password is password. You'd be amazed, right? And you also found that there was no recent vulnerability assessments performed within that environment. What that implies is that they don't even know. They're literally flying blind. They don't know what the issues might be in their environment to even know where to start fixing from. So in noticing all of these things, they also realized that, okay, it's like we absolutely need to perform, or at least initiate, a vulnerability assessment of all the devices in our space, so that we can identify potential points of entry, which we call attack vectors, for attackers, right? And because once there's an entry point, an attacker can find it before the protector does, they would obviously compromise it and get at patient data and go ahead to disrupt critical care operations, right? And we do not want that. Imagine your loved one having an operation, and then you hear that the doctor cannot access their files while checking whether they are blood group A or blood group AB or blood group O positive or negative. Imagine the kind of confusion and anger and fright that would come into your spirit at that point in time. That's exactly what attackers can do when they attack medical environments, right? You do not want that to happen. So we are going to be using our favorite tool, the Nexus, which is basically selected because of its ability to detect known vulnerabilities, misinformation, and compliance issues across IoTs and embedded devices. Now, this is to answer, I believe that was Joanna's question, where they asked if, okay, Josie's question, I beg your pardon, Josie, where they asked if Nessus is a scanning tool that can check for vulnerability. Yes, that's the main goal. Even when you Google Nexus, the first thing it tells you is Nexus vulnerability scanner. Okay. Then we have other tools like NetDiscover, which we use to discover all the hosts and the devices in that network so we can know what we're targeting. We have Nmap that can do the same thing, but Nessus is so great because it can do all of these things in one space. Now, when we start up our device, that is Nexus, we then go ahead and use the host discovery to identify all of the active IP addresses belonging to the devices within that environment. And then when we're done, we then use that Nexus to now scan. Now, the beauty of Nexus is that it has a large number of scan modes. As is, you can choose your scan method depending on what you're trying to achieve, right? Then we now use our findings to do our classifications, because as it is scanning for you, it's also classifying the risks it finds or the vulnerability that is found based on their severity, based off what we refer to as the Common Vulnerability Severity Score database, CVSS scoring database. Then we now go ahead and verify based on the links that are attached to the findings of Nexus to validate whether, okay, what we say we have found actually is a problem and how we can fix it. Okay. Awesome. So I'd like us to go ahead and do what I just told you all about so that we can actually have a lot of fun. All right. Okay. So I am sharing my screen now. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. Beautiful. Now, this is a typical network Nexus dashboard. Now, I am not a new user, but as a new user, this is the first page that you will typically land on. Remember what we're doing, right? We're going to first and foremost check within the environment of the hospital that is a what's it called? A client of Adriac, and see if they have any devices there. Now, what we want to do here in this case is what we call a host discovery scan. What this does is help us to discover live hosts. I don't know if you all can see my screen very well, or if you'd like me to zoom it in a little, right? Is this better? Can we all see the write-ups under each of the scan types better? Okay, I believe we can all see it better. Yes, I believe we can all see it better. Yes, so you see that we have the discovery that we talked about earlier, right? Because the goal is that you cannot fix what you don't know, and you cannot investigate what you don't understand, right? You cannot enter the house that you don't understand or have an idea of the layout. If you enter a house like that, you might get lost or you might get caught. Now, as an attacker, they don't want to get caught. But as defenders, we want to behave as attackers would so that we can find as much information as an attacker would typically do what? Find. Good. So we want to first of all do a discovery of our environment. So we do a simple scan to discover live hosts and open ports, or we could do a ping only discovery kind of scan. This is also a scan that discovers live hosts, but it does it with as minimal interaction as possible. So it doesn't really even show up on the blip or on the monitoring screen of anybody monitoring the interaction of your scanner with their environment as an ethical cybersecurity professional that you are, right? Now, when we have done the host scan, then we want to go ahead and pick one of these scans to work with. Now, depending on what we're trying to, remember I told you earlier, right, that we choose our mode based off of what we are trying to do, right? So if you look here, you have a basic network scan that allows you to do a full system scan for any host. You also have the credential validation scan that verifies that your host credentials actually pairs with your target environment successfully enough that you can verify the login credentials. Then we have the advanced scan that you have to configure by yourself with, unlike this basic scan, but it will do a thorough job based on whatever you ask it to do. Now, we also have what we call the dynamic scan and so many other scans. So you see, we have the malware scan that looks for malware. Dynamic scan is basically to scan live environments. So we're referring to websites, web pages, right? That's what we call a dynamic environment. That is, it is live, it is, it is in use, it's operational, right? It's in production, like developers will say. Then you have the mobile device scan. So if you have any mobile devices on that network, you can use this particular scan to also target them. Then you have the web application tests, right? Then you have the credentials patched audit. Basically, this is looking to find different devices on the network and ensure that it can list what kind of updates they need, right? Basically, list their enumeration means listing, right? So list all the updates that they need and tell you about them. Then you have the Active Directory scan, which is basically how to interact with the users in your environment. So how many users do you have? What are their permissions? What are they supposed to be doing? What should they not be doing? Remember I told you about misconfigurations, right? Beautiful. Then it now makes it more awesome by being able to scan AI, large language models, machine learning kind models to look for their own type of issues and vulnerabilities. Now, back to Benaniah's question earlier about HIPAA and GDPR and code. This is what makes Nexus fun. Because as it is scanning for the vulnerabilities in your spaces, it can also help you audit your space for different types of compliance issues. So from your cloud infrastructure configuration to if you are using credit cards in your environment, it will scan if you are meeting the requirements of PCI DSS, which is the standard for the use of credit cards in your environment. It also scans for how well you have configured your mobile devices within your space. It does offline configuration scans or audits, like we call it. It does policy compliance auditing, where you can put in a policy which is called the baseline. So you have created rules. Policies are like rules, right? And processes in your environment. So it's basically you creating these rules and then giving it to your Nexus as the baseline. So in our company, we have an access policy. We have a sustainable use policy, right? And then we give it to Nexus and say, this is the list that our staff must do when relating with clients' data, right? That it will scan and be sure that all devices on your network, all your staff's devices are meeting this baseline, this list requirement. This is how awesome it is when it comes to ensuring that you are in compliance, whatever is needed. I hope I've answered your question, Benaniah. Are you with me? Awesome. Okay. Now that I have walked us through some of the scans that we have in Nexus, I will just quickly show us how it typically looks, right? So when they say you need to add information, it's basically they're asking you, okay, what are you trying to scan? So we want to scan Adriac, for instance, or Adriac's client, but we don't have a name for them. So we just say Adriac's Health Tech, right? Because it's required that you put a name for what you're trying to do. Then we recommend that you put a description so that when your colleagues or your fellow security professionals are reading through the report, they have an understanding of why you did that scan. The description is to tell any other person reading, not you, but any other person reading, the why of why you did that scan. Then you want to pick where you want to save your scan results, right? And then here you put in either the domain name, that is, if you're doing maybe tesla.com, or the IP addresses, which you usually would have access to as the person that's trying to help find issues within your environment. And the beauty of this is that you can have all of the IPs that you found while performing your host discovery in this space. Let me show you a quick example of what your host discovery can look like when it's done. All right. So this is referring to the name that the device is called. If you look here, you see that it was stopped. It's not like it finished the scan. It was stopped, right? But it first of all found the router, then it found the first device. Are you seeing that? And it will keep finding as long as you leave that scan running. Okay? Then that is how you do the discovery. So that's how we are able to know what we're doing. All right? I hope we're still together. Okay. Then the idea of this is you have been able to find all the IP addresses that you want to interact with, right? And then you add them to your targets list. Or you created a file with them, you can add the file from here and upload these files immediately. So when you are done doing all this, you can either automatically launch the scan or save what you want to scan. Now, because of time, we have gone ahead to scan an environment and show you how Nessus will report back on what it found. First of all, it will tell you how many vulnerabilities it has found in its findings. All right, tell you, okay, I found this number of vulnerabilities, but these are the ones that I'm most worried about. And if you look through the results, to tell you in a pie chart how worried, how bad it thinks the environment is, right? Remember I told you that it will also give you like a grader, severity grader or severity scale as to how good or how bad it can get, right? Now, it's so fun that, so fine that you can literally just click on this and have an idea, like it's a proper idea of the different types of vulnerabilities in that space. So here you see that it says, oh, this is a high vulnerability. And you're wondering, okay, so what's high about it? What is so great about this vulnerability? You can click on what it has found for you. And it gives you a description of what it found, what it looks like, what it's called in the security environment. It tells you what the solution is. It tells you where to go to learn more about that vulnerability. It tells you what ports in that environment it found it on, so that you know how to go and either close that port or fix or remediate that issue. And then it tells you more on the right side of the screen. So it gives you, okay, this is how I found it. These are the ways in which it can impact your environment. This is the risk information in broken down bits and pieces. And all of these things are things that we teach you with better clarity when you come into our program of how to understand what you're looking at. It's so much fun that it even gives you a reference link to go and read up in depth on the vulnerability that it has found in its space. Now, to make it really great about what you found, right? You found about 100 and something vulnerabilities. How do you tell your colleagues or your bosses or your stakeholders that you found these vulnerabilities and this is how bad they can get? You are thinking, okay, I have to start writing reports, I have to start creating, oh Lord, how do I start from? No. Nessus allows you to, what's it called now? To download a report, to generate a report. Okay, and you can pick whatever type you want. You can decide to have a fancy HTML version that once they run, it will open like a simple web page and walk them through what you are seeing right now. Right? You can decide to have a PDF version that will give you the complete list of vulnerabilities by the host, that is to list the host, list the vulnerabilities, list the host, and all of that. And if you see on this side, it explains to you what you expect to find in your final results. And if you can decide to pick accordingly from all the options here, what kind of final results you want, it's up to you. You go ahead and do that. And then you can then decide, okay, now that I'm done picking, I can generate my reports. All right? Good. Now you can also ask it to give you in a CSV file. Here you can decide what you want to see when it's done. You can say, okay, put in all of this, then add all of these scores for people that probably understand what a plugin is and what you can exploit it with. So this is basically saying, I want to know how my attacker can come in and use what we have found right now to negatively impact my environment, which a lot of technical CISOs will want to know, right? So you can go ahead and include this information and then generate what? The report. Now, I've made it easy. I've generated a PDF report on these particular findings earlier, and I can walk you through it real quick. So you see how clean, how nice it looks, right? Any executive you give this to is first of all excited because they're like, okay, if Naya did a good job, Josie did an amazing job, Benanaya knows what they're doing, right? Because you also can explain based on how we have taught you in our program exactly what they're looking at, but you now have like a clean way of showing them what you found and how bad it can get. And every single plugin name here has a live link that they can read up on if they want more information, right? And it goes on until the last vulnerability. So it doesn't just limit it to the most impactful vulnerabilities alone. It also tells them about the other ones which we call informational that can be used in conjunction with medium or low vulnerabilities to negatively impact the environment. All right. So these are the things analysis does for this kind of space that helps them gather as much information as possible, and then they can now go ahead and start fixing these vulnerabilities. All right. Are we following along so far? And do we have any questions? Do we have any questions so far? Okay. I believe we don't have any questions at this point just yet. Okay. Now that we have walked through Nexus, these are the kind of findings that we find in Nexus, right? So you have things like the patient monitoring console. You see how I showed you that it tells you in detail exactly where it found it and what it found with the CVE, that is the Common Vulnerability Exposure Identification Number, that allows you to have more and in-depth details about what was found, and then description that helps you to understand what you're looking at, and then the score that helps you know how bad it can get or it is. And then it also helps you know how attackers can use it. So in the case of this print nightmare, which is found in the patient monitoring console, attackers can use this to become the owners of the environment, that is system privileges, become system admins. You also have the blue keep, which comes into the radiology workstation, which is considered very critical because attackers can come into your space from anywhere in the world, which is basically what a remote takeover is. But that makes it worse because they don't even need to sign in to gain access. They don't need to be authenticated. They don't need to have any login details to come in with this kind of vulnerability. Would you not consider this a problem? Would you not think of this as, oh, this is very bad? Do we have people that would think this is not bad? Does anybody think this is the regular thing to encounter? Right? You're seeing that somebody somewhere, anywhere actually, once they find vulnerability in your space, can literally just sign into your environment and become the owner of that environment. They enter your house and they just change all the locks and lock you that owns that space out. That's basically what Blue Keep does in terms of vulnerability and how it can be used by attackers, right? Awesome. Now, based on what we have found, we can then go and tell Adria can say, okay, first and foremost, in the next 0 to 3 months, we want you all to divide your medical devices into special dedicated virtual local area network, that is VLANs. The goal of this is to ensure that not anybody can just come in and take over the entire, thank you, Benanaya, take over the entire environment, right? If they come in through the door, you've locked the passageway so they can't reach any of the rooms. They are stuck in the sitting area, right? If they come in through the kitchen, you lock the kitchen entryway so much so that they are stuck in the kitchen. They can't enter into your pantry. They can't enter into your dining area or your bedrooms, right? That's what segmentation does in an environment. Then remember how we said that they had the blue keep vulnerability that allowed anybody anywhere to take over the environment, which through RDP, which is remote desktop protocol, right? Basically, what they're asking you to do here is we're saying, okay, go ahead and turn it off. Turn it off first until you upgrade all your Windows 7 machines to the latest Windows OS to keep it safe, that you can turn it back on. Right? That's the most important ones. And then you cannot consequently ask your manufacturers to give you updated hardware, which we refer to as firmware, right? Or updated software, okay? And then you can now go ahead and deploy protection to the Windows-based systems per device. So you're not saying do a broad or a wide umbrella of protection. No, endpoint protection means every single device should have its own protection. Then you now say, okay, everybody in this space, so you must first and foremost change your passwords and then make sure that it is not easy to guess. Please don't use Ifunaya 2005 or Benanaya Winter. I've seen funny passwords, so I know, right? And then you can say in the long term, going forward, remembering that they did not used to do vulnerability assessments before, we're making it a thing where every quarter, that is every 3 months, you must perform a vulnerability assessment using Nexus and check what the current issue is and fix it, right? And then don't trust any device. A zero trust principle comes in, right? So that you're able to maintain confidentiality of patients' data. And then ensure that you establish a rule, which is a policy that requires everybody to safeguard or impute security in any device they bring into that environment. What you have done here as a cybersecurity analyst is to ensure that you have helped Adriac safeguard their environment, right? You've shown them the problem, you've told them how to fix it, you've told them what tools to use to fix it, and then you have told them what to do in the near future, basically completing the circle of how you help them use Nexus, find vulnerabilities and potential risks in their spaces, especially with regards to medical devices. Now, I believe that I've told us a lot. I've told us a lot about how to use just one tool. Remember, I told you about the different tools. I told you about NetDiscover, I told you about Nmap, right? Now, I'd like to hand over to my colleague, Prince, so that he can walk us through how we can come in and learn how to use this tool and many other tools to become the cybersecurity analysts that we all dream to become, right? And he's going to walk us through how to go from where we currently are to being awesome cybersecurity analysts. All right. Hi, Prince. Over to you.
Hi, Oluwatobi. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for the introduction. So I promise I'm going to walk us through in about 10, 15, maximum 20 minutes. I think I'm checking my time. In about 20 minutes, I'll be able to walk us through how we're able to transition and get, so everything Oluwatobi has been talking about, we're able to learn exactly how we'll be able to be in this position. What are the things to do? How do we build our technical experience? How do we get a job in this space as a cybersecurity analyst? So after about 20 minutes, you also have opportunities to ask whatever question that you might have. Myself or my colleague will be able to answer all your questions that you might have in this regard. Okay, so just 20 minutes. I trust me, I'm giving just 20 minutes and I'll be able to guide you through how you'll be able to join the program, transition into the tech space as a cybersecurity analyst, and see yourself being in that same position, protecting organizational data, either as a penetration tester, as a SOC analyst, or even as a GRC specialist, right? Now, when it comes to transitioning into tech, generally speaking, organizations that are looking to hire you, they are really looking out for one major thing, and these are your skills and your experience. What are the experience that you have? What are the skills that you have? For example, today we're talking about Nexus. Where and how have you been able to leverage using Nexus to be able to identify vulnerabilities within an organization and make recommendations on how to patch it up or take active action, hands-on action to get these vulnerabilities fixed, either as a penetration tester, a SOC analyst, or even as a GRC specialist? Where and how have you done all these things before? And you see the way your program is structured at Analytics, you are learning working on projects because everything you get to do at Analytics, you are working 100% working on project. And when you do this will expose you to actually building your technical experience and for you to gain work experience while in the training. Now, the duration for your training with Analytics is 6 months. where you get to work on multiple projects, for example, work on Nexus and some other technical tools you will use as a cybersecurity analyst. Then when you're done with that, building that skill and experience by working on projects, you now get into an internship whereby you'll be able to have opportunities to work on real-world projects and solve real-world problems. All right, where you'll be able to have all these problems you must have solved, being able to have it on your portfolio. Because if you see over here, we have some of our participants being able to have projects they've worked on in their portfolio. And when you're looking at transitioning into cybersecurity, what we did at Analytics was we were able to identify roles that a lot of organizations are really looking to hire for. And cybersecurity is actually being one of them, coupled with other programs that my colleague Oluwatobi talked about. So aside from all these other programs, cybersecurity being part of them, meaning you are able to transition easily into this career path. You are easily able to learn it. You're able to easily learn it, transition, and you are easily able to get a job that will come with high reward or high salary. Now, what we further did was we went ahead to seek external validation from the World Economic Forum. And the World Economic Forum is showing us the progression of jobs that will grow in demand between 2025 and 2030. So if you see the rows that you can see on the right side of my screen, these are the jobs that will decline in demand, right? These are the jobs that will decline in demand. Why the ones on the left side of my screen, these are the jobs that will increase in demand. And if you see the ones that are in blue boxes, these are cybersecurity roles, right? So you want to see, so if you're looking to transition, if you're looking to pivot, if you're looking to just create that path to be able to transition and build up or go into a career whereby you will have opportunity to leverage whatever experience you have, be able to build on it, and have that sense of job security of how much in demand your career path can be or what your career is. Definitely, cybersecurity is something you want to get into. And when you're looking at the skills you might need to be able to build and get into cybersecurity, right now, today, we talked about Nexus, which is used across board. Now, when you're looking at things you get to learn in cybersecurity, if you can see my screen, you see all the key learning areas where even if you don't have any experience, you've never done anything at all in cybersecurity, you have beginners friendly class where if somebody as professional as my senior colleague Oluwa to be able to bring a wealth of experience into class and be able to guide you on exactly the foundations. You heard that when she was talking about the CIA triads, all right? Then you go ahead to learn the overview and you get even to understand the foundational knowledge about the roles, the technologies you get to use, and so many things. Before you now get into the CIA triads, which is the information security principles, and understanding the risk management when it comes to cybersecurity. Then you go ahead to understand what we call network security. What is networking? How does devices, how do they communicate with each other? And how can you secure all these devices either within an organization or even on a WAN platform? How do you do all this security? How do you make sure that there is no loophole within all this environment? And one major thing that the cybersecurity program will be giving to you is you agree with me that the industry, cybersecurity is pretty robust. All right. You have the penetration testers, which are the hackers. You have the SOC analyst, that's the security operations center analyst. You have the GRC, governance, risks, and compliance specialist. All these people, they all hold a major part in the cybersecurity space. Now, which exactly is the one you'll be getting into, or what exactly is penetration testing? What is SOC analysis? What are all these things? Now, if you see the way your program is structured, your program, what you've been learning for 6 months, is going to wire you with the experience and the knowledge and the skill to be able to get a job or get exposure in penetration testing. You will learn all the things you need to know as a SOC analyst. You also work on projects, multiple projects that will expose you to be able to get a job as a GRC specialist, meaning your program is packed because you can see the key learning area. You will see SOC roles and responsibilities, log analysis, NMTP, and NTBM, you have threat detection, incident response, and so many more. These are under the roles of SOC analyst. Then you get into that, then you get into penetration testing, where you learn introduction to penetration testing, you learn vulnerability scanning, where you get to use tools like Nexus, right? Then you also get to use tools like you get to use tools like your Metasploit to be able to test for vulnerabilities. All these things are things you get to use within your lane, within your 6 months. And when you're using all these tools, you are using them working on projects. So for example, let's say you want to learn how to use Nexus to scan for your vulnerabilities. What you'll be doing is you'll be getting a project of an organization that is looking to identify if they're having type of vulnerabilities within their network. So you will come to class and you have a professional like Ulua to be coming to that class with you, walk you through how to use Nexus to scan and generate a report for the organization, and we will guide you through how to present that report to the organization. This is exactly what it will seem like when you're actually working as using that particular tool, right? As a cybersecurity analyst, using that specific tool on a job. The same way you're able to learn working on projects is the same way you get to learn when you're using every other tool and working on different multiple projects. And by the time you're done with your 6 months in class training, you will have enough skill to get a job as a penetration tester. You have enough skill to get a job as a SOC analyst, and you have enough skill to get a job as a GRC specialist, right? Now, if you remember what I told you earlier, you will remember that I said after your 6 months in class training, you now get onto internship where you do 2 months. Now you see your 2 month internship. This is now where you get to focus 100%. So if you went through the training and you see, oh, so GRC is something that I really do love. Now for your 2 months, you are going to exclusively work on real world projects in the GRC space, solving real world problems with a consulting firm. And what value this will bring to you is it will give you an opportunity to have whatever project you must have worked on, to be able to have this project added to your CV, and also have ability to add it to your portfolio. So when you go into an interview and you're asked the scenario-based questions like, okay, can you walk us through a time when you were able to identify vulnerabilities? What are the things that you do? You will easily be able to go back to that time while consulting with the specific company. I use the specific tool, Nexus in this case, to be able to do this, identify this, and I was able to make this recommendation by this one after a specific range of time. They were able to call infiltration by some certain percentage of time. You will easily be able to say that because you will have experience of what exactly the tools and the experience, the project you must have been talking about, because you actually do this yourself. And when it comes to the classes, the way you learn, you have a blended approach type of learning, where you have your live instructor-led classes on Saturday, right? So from Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. UK Nigerian time, that's going to be 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. UK time currently. And for those in North America, that's in Canada and in US, you have 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. MST, or 12 noon to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? So these are the times for your live classes, and this happens on Saturday. And if you ask me why Saturday, is because a very large percentage of people taking the program, I would say about 95 of them, 95% of people taking the program, they are people that are either working, they have a steady 9 to 5, or these are people that have multiple jobs they are doing. So they do more than one job, or people that are even doing their masters and are working at the same time. So a lot of people, a very good percentage of people taking the program, they have their weekdays fixed. So we are able to consider that, and we make sure that any instructor-led live class you'll be having, this happens on Saturday, either your live class or your drop-in session. Your drop-in session, another name for your drop-in session is a troubleshooting class, because we just don't teach you, teach, and we expect you to know it. No, we teach you, we give you time to practice, Then when you make mistakes or you encounter a challenge after practicing, we bring you back into a live drop-in session where you have ability to showcase your problem, whatever challenge you're facing, and you have Oluwatobi there seeing what you're saying, because in this drop-in session, you have ability to share your screen, just the way I'm sharing my screen. And imagine when Oluwatobi was sharing the screen for the Nexus, imagine you're having a challenge. You don't know what to do. Then you go to that drop-in session, you share your screen, should be able to see what you're doing, identify the step you must have, the mistake you must have made, and be able to guide you to fix that problem. These are the ways you get to learn with analytics. We just don't go ahead to teach you everything and we expect you to perform miracle. No, we teach you, then we expect you to go practice. We even expect you to make mistakes so that you can bring these mistakes into the classes and we'll solve them, we'll guide you on how to solve these problems. And this is why your duration for your training is 6 months. And by the time you are done in your 6 months, we can certify that this particular person is a fantastic professional in whatever field or whatever program you have gone through before you get onto internship, where you will now have ability to work and showcase the experience and knowledge that you've been able to gain for the 6 months duration, right? And you see everything that we are talking about, right? Everything we're talking about, all this are just 50% of what we tend to offer you. The other 50% is what we call the employability. And this is like a strategy that worked all throughout. We've been at this for over 5 years. This is a strategy that we've been able to adopt and help organize individuals, participants that have zero to non-technical background at all, being able to land their first job in tech. And if you ask me, what is the employability? So let's say now you're a fantastic cybersecurity analyst. You know how to use your different tools for your analysis, for your incident response, for your vulnerability testing, and so many more. But how does these skills that you have, how does it translate to getting you a job? Because I believe a good percentage of everybody here, we are after getting a job, and not just any old job, a good paying job, right? So how does this skill you have, how does it translate to getting you a job? That's exactly what your employability is about. And your employability skill is more or less going to weaponize your technical skill to get you that job that you need. And the first thing in your employability is CV review and CV revamp. By 3 weeks after you join the program, you'll have your CV submitted to our in-house professional. What the in-house professional will do is they will go ahead to optimize your CV to be industry standard. So if you submit your CV to be optimized to now be a standard for cybersecurity analysts, then you will learn in a live session where you learn how to tailor your CV to jobs you're applying to. You agree with me that a CV, even though you went through the cybersecurity program, and if you're applying to a vulnerability testing job, the CV you'll be using is totally different from the CV you'll be using if you're applying to a GRC role. So you will learn exactly how to tailor your CV to each and every job you apply to, giving you a good opportunity to land an interview as fast as possible. Then another thing to consider is when we are looking at getting you jobs, or when you're looking at getting jobs, there's a limit to jobs you can apply to using just your CV. So how exactly do you tap into the market or the opportunity of those jobs that are existing that you have no knowledge about? This is where your LinkedIn comes into play. You'll have multiple live sessions that will teach you how to navigate and how to optimize your LinkedIn in such a way that roles that even you have no knowledge that are existing, you have the opportunities of having the hiring manager of these particular jobs search on LinkedIn, your profile populating up to them, and giving yourself, your profile, an opportunity to have these professionals reach out to you 100%, and you communicating with them, see how you be of value to them, right? Then you also learn how to navigate the job market. This is a session that is priceless because aside from knowing exactly how to work as a cybersecurity analyst, knowing where and how to apply to jobs is another key important part. And under your navigating the job market, this is broken down into many parts. A part of that is we have some premium job boards that we subscribe to. And this subscription give us access to jobs that you would never see on Indeed, Glassdoor, LinkedIn. You will never see them there. Now, what you would do is these jobs, so far we already have access to them. We script all these jobs and we bring these jobs to your classroom where you have access to apply to these jobs for 100% without paying anybody anything. You have that access 100%. Then also under navigating the job market, you will learn where and how to apply to jobs, right? Then you also, when you apply to jobs and do all these things I've been talking about, the least we expect from you is to get called for an interview. And when you get called for an interview, before you attend any interview at all, you have the opportunity to have a professional come on board with you. This is now a one-on-one session where that professional will be preparing you for the role you're looking to get. Imagine having an interview and it's for a vulnerability testing role, for a penetration testing role, and you have Oluwatobi preparing you for that role. Oluwatobi is currently working in that field. She has interviewed a lot of people. She has helped a lot of people land the job. So imagine her now walking you through the likely questions that will be asked, how you answer them, how you want to tidy up your project, and how you walk them through all these projects you must have worked on. These are the things that will happen in your interview preparation sessions. And definitely when you land the job, you have the opportunity to get a reference letter from Tenalytics and also get a reference letter from the consulting firm you must have done your 2-month internship. So this must serve like a robust opportunity of showcasing where you've actively showcased your skill in the tech space, solving problems for organizations. Then you also have on-the-job support. And this is simply what it means. On-the-job support, you've landed a job after your training or even during your training, but you needed some guidance, you needed some support. You have the ability to reach out to us and you have somebody come on board with you and guide you through solving whatever challenge you might be having. Then what you have again is a weekly mentorship session. This is priceless because for people that are not already in the tech space, there's going to be a lot of things you have no knowledge about. There's going to be a lot of things that is totally alien to you. You have no knowledge of their existence. And these things are key things that will make your journey or transitioning into the tech space a lot more easier. Now, these are the things that your mentors, leaders in the tech space, leaders in the society, they will come into your classes and give you all these insider secrets as to what do you do, how do you deal with this, when you apply to jobs and you get a rejection letter, do you just close your laptop or you just archive it or you delete the email of that rejection? What are the things to do? All right. What are the things to do? Or you've landed a job. How do you build that growth ladder to make sure that after about 1 year, 6 months, or 2 years, you are doubling your starting salary? How do you do all these things? These are the things that you get access to in your mentorship session. Then the last on the employability is the Upwork optimization. Upwork is a freelance platform where you will be able to offer your services on a more freelance approach to both individuals and organizations. So for people looking to furthermore do this, you will have sessions, live sessions that will teach you on how to optimize your Upwork. Now, we've had all the things I've talked about. We've had lots of participants go through the same structure and they've been able to land a job. This particular gentleman on my screen, Chukwuebuka, he went through the cybersecurity program, which he learned the cybersecurity program. Then he was able to take all the things I've talked about, optimizing the CV, optimizing the LinkedIn, joining multiple mentorship sessions, then being able to know exactly where and how to apply. It applied all the strategy that I've talked about, and he was able to land a job as a security operation analyst with a company in Ireland. All right, and we've had lots. When I say lots, I mean lots of participants. This particular gentleman over here, the first guy over here, his name is Adetayo. He went through the training and he was not even done with his training. He was about 60 to 70% done. before he was able to land himself a job. And we have lots of participants that they were able to land a job even while in the training, because you see the way the program is structured. We have 6 months in class and 2 months internship. We normally advise our participants that you don't wait until 6 months, because 6 months is when you have everything you need before everything you need to be that professional. But you don't wait until you have everything before you start showcasing, before you start applying. Our participants start applying to jobs as early as 2 months into the program, because by 2 months into your program, you already have some technical skills and you already have some employability skills. So you are able to start taking all these baby steps actively and start applying to jobs as early as 2 months into your training. And these are the steps that a lot of people have taken, and you see them landing a job even while staying in the program, right? So you have my colleague sharing the link to complete a form in the chat box. So if you haven't filled the form or completed the form yet, you want to make sure you do that, so that by the time I'm done, this particular session is recorded. The video will be shared to your email, and also this particular slide I'm using will be shared to your email also. All right. So you want to make sure you complete the form if you haven't, so you can get access to all the materials used today sent to your email. And back to what I was saying, we have lots of people that have gone through the training and thriving 100%. And you might be wondering, how exactly do you take the next step? What are the next things to do? We have few weeks before 2025 is over. How can you take advantage of what we have right now, so that by January 2026, you will see yourself not starting, but already taking that step, and you are actively in the market looking to transition and get into a new role. Now we have the next cohort starting on the 8th of November. So if you're looking to transition, to switch this journey, take this journey, take the journey, take everything you're doing by the horn, taking control of it, you want to join the next class starting by 8th of November, where you'll be able to learn how to be a cybersecurity professional. And to be part of this cohort starting, the program, the original price of the program, the full price of the program is $1,000, right? So to be part of the class starting by 8th of November, you have ability to pay $1,000, but it gets better. Currently, we have a discount running, and that discount is a whopping 25% discount, where you are able to pay $750 instead of 1,000. All right. So by taking advantage of the 25% discount, you'll be paying $750, and it even gets better. So you see these $750, you have ability to pay in installments, meaning you can take that 750 and break it down into 5 different parts and pay each part every month. And each part you're paying is $150 every month for 5 months. Okay, so while you learn, so for you to be able to join the program that is starting on 8th of November, all you have to do is pay $150. Or if you're in UK, that is going to be 123 pounds every month for 5 months. If you're in anywhere in Europe, that's going to be 146 euros to be able to join the program. And if I'm in, let's say, Nigeria, that's going to be 240,000 naira every month for 5 months. If you click on the link that my colleague dropped in the chat box, it will take you to the website. I'll also click on the same link, and I'll be able to show you how to register on the platform. So if you click on that particular link, let me stop sharing, and I share that part of my screen. Let me share that part of my screen so you can see what I'm talking about. So if you click on that particular link that my colleague just dropped in the chat box, it will bring you to Analytics website, right? So once you come onto this website, you will be able to see all the programs we offer. But what you want to do is you want to go on to cybersecurity, and this is it over here. So you want to click on cybersecurity. So just click on buy now. So once you click on the buy now, you want to it will open up this page for you. And immediately you come here, you will be able to click on this part that says enroll now. So once you click on the enroll now, if you've not registered on the website, it will give you a prompt to register. So you want to register your email, you want to register your phone number, verify your email, verify your phone number before you're able to make payment. Okay, so once you're done verifying your email, you will get to this page where you will see start by 8th of November, or you have ability to still take the opportunity of the 25% discount and still start by December. So if you're saying, oh, so 8th of November is few days from now, I need to get some things in proper shape, my work schedule, I need to do a lot of things. I probably need to even get a laptop or change my laptop. I don't want to start 8th of November. It's not going to be convenient for me. It's not going to be even possible for me. But I don't want to miss out on the discount. You have the ability to still get the 25% discount. And instead of starting 8th of November, you have the ability to start by 6th of December, still taking advantage of the discount. And remember, all you have to do is to pay the first installment. Now, when it comes to the payment plan, we have multiple payment plan, right? Making it easier for you to be able to get into the program without really having to be disturbed or unable to do anything because of the price that you might not have been able to budget for. Now, if you look at the payment structure, you have the 1 time, 2, 3, 4, or even 5 times, like I said earlier. Now, if you're looking to pay 1 time, or you're looking to pay 2 times, aside from the fact that you're still getting a 25% discount, you're still saving yourself some extra dollars. And that will be you having to pay 712. That's if you're looking to pay 1 time, if you're looking to pay 2 times. Now, if you're looking like, oh, so these might not be so convenient for me, you still have ability to pay 3 times. That'll be you paying $250 every month for 3 months, or 4 times, that's going to be 187, or even pay 5 times, which is going to be $150 every month for 5 months. And this is applicable across board. If you are joining from Canada, you have ability to pay also in Canadian dollars. Either you pay 1,046, or you pay 523 twice, or you pay 367 or 3 times, or you pay 275 4 times, or you pay 220 Canadian dollars every month for 5 months. Also applicable if you are paying in euros. You have ability to pay as low as 645, right? So whichever of the option that works best for you, wherever you're joining from, the website is geotagged. So if you're joining from UK, you'll be seeing your currency and payment option or payment plan in pounds. If you're joining from anywhere in US, it's going to be in US dollars. If you're joining from Canada, it's going to be in CAD. Anywhere you're joining from, you have ability to pay directly from the website without needing any payment plan or payment option or payment gateway or whatever. No, you can pay directly from the website. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you select a plan that works best for you. Or for this example, I want to select a 5 instrumental payment. So you want to select the 5 instrumental payment, go on apply discount. So once you click on apply discount, it will load up a page showing you that your discount, your 25% discount has been applied. Then you go ahead to see your payment structure. Today is 30th of October. Your next payment is going to come in exactly a month after that. Then your next payment is going to be exactly a month after that, a month after that, then also a month after that. And all you got to do is pay as low as £123 to be able to join the program. And when you do that, you want to see over here where you make sure you confirm all your information that you must have entered above is correct. You read the terms and conditions. Then once you're done reading, you select it. Then you click on pay now. So once you do this, you get into the learning management system, and you'll be able to have somebody reach out to you, and you get everything you need to start the program either by 8th of November or by 6th of December. Okay. And so if you have any questions, you might want to drop into the chat box, or if you're looking to speak, you might also want to just indicate, and I'll be able to ask you to unmute your mic and speak. And remember, by the time you're done with the training, you will also be getting access to Amdari Vault. Now, Amdari Vault is where you get access to multiple projects, but this is not open to everybody. This is only open to the people that are currently in this particular session, and they are able to make payments within 24 hours. All right, because this is a very large database repository whereby you're able to get access, and access to this is going to open you to working with more projects. All right, so you get access to work on more projects, and definitely, with more projects comes with more experience. With more experience comes a fast opportunity to get yourself a job because you have vast of experience in this space. So for people that are currently on this program and they are able to secure their spot or make payments within 24 hours, they will be getting this particular discount or this second bonus, which is the Amdari Vault access for 1 month. And also, the training organization, that's the analytics, is accredited by the American Council of Training and Development. So by the time you are done with your training, you will be getting this certificate. This particular, like I said, once you get this particular slide, you can come over here. You'll be able to click and view our accreditation on ACTD, right? So if you have any questions, you might want to drop in the chat box so that myself and my colleague will be able to answer whatever questions that you have, right? Does anybody have any quick question before we wrap it up? I promised I was going to spend 20 minutes. I believe I didn't go over time. I can see something like 37 minutes, but I'm not sure that timing is correct. Okay, so all right. So I think you asked about the time zone, Clarice, and I think the time zone has been answered. Okay, Clarice and one person have their hand up. So if I have asked you to unmute your mic, so you want to go ahead and unmute your mic so that myself and my colleague will be able to answer your question.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Prince. Thank you for the presentation. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, loud and clear.
Okay. I got to know about 10 analytics. Once again, thanks for the presentation. Very well
Awesome.
detailed and well understood, though I'm new to tech. So I got to know about you people just about 2 or 3 days ago through Nanel. I'm a subscriber to Nanel on YouTube.
Awesome.
So I quickly got ready for this presentation today. So my question is, for those of us, I'm actually listening to you from Nnewi in Anambra State. I work with a teaching
okay.
hospital. Yeah. So my question is, if I register for this training and finish, for those of us in Nigeria, what are the chances of getting a job? Is it here, are the jobs here, or is it going to be something like a remote job, doing it from here? Or just please, just put me through. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I do. So I'm going to say few words to answer this question.
Okay.
Then I'll have my colleague Oluwatobi further answer this question. Okay. I know you joined the session initially from the beginning, and you could hear when my most senior colleague Oluwatobi said she's joining from Nigeria. Okay.
Okay,
So that
maybe
means,
I missed that because I was having network problem.
Probably you did, because she is currently in Nigeria working from Nigeria. So Oluwatobi, are you able to share more light on this?
Okay.
Yes. And I'm actually quite happy you asked this question, Ifunaya, because you see, there's a lot of cybersecurity openings. but there are not enough cybersecurity professionals, at least skilled cybersecurity professionals in Nigeria to fill the role. The issue that employers are currently having, and I'm talking from a place of someone who has to help some employers interview their potential cybersecurity firms and what's it called employees, is that people say, oh, they have the skills. No, people have certifications and all of that, right? But when push comes to shove, can you do the job? Can you help us secure our space? Can you recommend things that would help us fix our space? That's what they're looking for, right? And so a lot of times we find out that we don't have those people. And the beauty of it is that you are also currently in the health sector. So you're bringing in your health skills, your health knowledge, the knowledge of the health sector into the cybersecurity field, which makes you like you're a powerhouse. You become a two-in-one power-packed missile, right? Because the beauty of it is that by the time you finish your training and you start applying for it, so if you decide to go into the banking sector, you will definitely find a role. You will definitely find an opening. If you decide to stay in the health sector and be their security professional, opening it's a matter of you even telling people where you are that, oh, I'm now in cybersecurity. I'd like to interact with our CISO and see if there's an opening in our space. At least I know of 2 people that got their jobs that way. They didn't leave their company. They just told people in the security team that, oh, I'm currently taking cybersecurity program with the analytics, and when I'm done, can I is what they call it? Can I shadow you? And the CISO agreed.
Okay.
And once they were done training, they put them on like all these shorts. You know how they do it in offices now? They say, okay, let's see how you can do for like a month or 2 months. If you do well, then we'll retain you and put you on the cadre of your current grade where you previously were, was maybe a little higher. And it worked, right? It worked. So there is Nigerians, and the beauty of it, Nigerian is you can work in Nigeria for a foreign company remotely. You can work in Nigeria for a Nigerian company. Either one you choose is awesome. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
You're
asking.
welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for asking.
Thank you.
All right, so I think I have Clarice. Clarice, I've asked you to unmute your mic to ask a question.
So much, Prince and Okrafo. This is my 3rd time to join the session, and I think I've liked so much that I'm hearing, and definitely I'm gonna be on board. So my question is probably not very direct on what you have shared today, but it's about what I've noticed. I've got 2 different invites to attend the meeting of today, unlike the ones that I've done before. So as I was coming home, I had one gadget that was listening to Anne, Mary Anene. She was talking about the Excel and what have you. Then when I clicked again another link that was shared, I joined you people. So I was wondering, was this by design so that we make choices of where you want to join, or what was it? Because I was thinking that the audience in Mary's audience may also need to hear what you, Prince and Okafo, are sharing. So I just need the clarity on this so that I make sure I want to maximize as much as possible before I pay. So not like I'm doubting, so that I move on with very maximum information.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for this question, Clarice, and for asking for clarification. So if you remember when we were talking, we said we have different programs that we offer: data analytics, data science, cybersecurity, data engineering, HR analytics, financial analytics, so many of them. Now, this particular session is to shed more light on what things you can do to become a cybersecurity analyst. But just like you, there are some people that they will not know if this is a better option for them or if that is a better option for them. What we always advise is we have a team of career coaches, career experts that they are able to ask you. This is like a one-on-one session. They're able to ask you questions, see where you're coming from, and be able to guide you on, oh, so let's say, for example, you've been working in healthcare for a long time. You're somebody that is very good with numbers, and your role involves you speaking with people all the time. But you moving ahead now, you don't want to do anything that has to do with numbers anymore, but you're still comfortable speaking with people. That is something that you can build upon. Now, if that is where you are, getting into cybersecurity might not really be ideal for you. getting into business analysis or project management might be a better approach. So you see that other program that we have going on, that is the HR where you have Mary talking, is telling people there, they are listening to her talk about HR analytics and financial analysis, which is, so whichever one that is better for you. But what I will always advise is, you've been to some of our sessions before now. What our advice is, since you're looking to register, we have the 25% going, secure your spot, register, take advantage of that so you don't lose out on the discount. Then ask to speak with anybody, like anybody that reach out to you from Analytics, like you already have people reaching out to you. Ask them that you'd like to speak with a professional to get guidance on which career path you want to get into. So let's say, for example, you register and you select cybersecurity. After your one-on-one with a professional, you discover that cybersecurity is a no-no for you. Rather, you want to go into data analytics or even HR analytics. At that time, even after your program has started, you have about a month into after your program has started, you still have the opportunity to switch to another program that should be of better fit for you. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Clarice. Okay, so make sure you try as much as possible to secure a spot so you don't miss out on the discount, and whichever career path you're looking to get into, you have an opportunity to speak with a career expert and they'll be able to guide you on which one to go for, right? Awesome. So Sammy, Sammy Thomas, I've asked you to unmute your mic so you can ask your question.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing? Yeah, this is not my first time talking to you guys. I've been trying to figure out where I could get some training and get some experience.
Okay.
I've spoken to you guys previously, and I asked a question about certifications because I have gained some certifications in online, cybersecurity certifications from Google, and also ISO 27001 certification, audit,
Okay.
whatever it is. So my question is, since I've got all these certifications and I have spoken to you guys before, if I joined up with you guys, would it be a case where I go to 2 months where I get hands-on experience? Because that's what I'm looking for, really. Is that what you guys would do?
Okay. All right. Do I want to take this, or I have my colleague Oluwatu be giving you claps? So I don't know if she wants to take this or if I should take. Oluwatu, do you want to take it, or should I
Yeah,
take
let me
it?
start that you can finish up for us. So
Okay.
hi, Sammy. I'm actually quite impressed
Right.
that you were able to have enough discipline to do, because I know exactly how hard it is to complete the ISO certifications. I have about 4 of those, and I know exactly how much
Wow.
work you put in. So well done to you. You have my head swelling, right? Yes, we do offer the ability for you to go straight into the internship. My colleague here and some of my other colleagues offer guidance to you as to how you can do this, right? So like he was telling Clarice and Ifunanya, you go ahead and book a session with our experts, and then they would guide you based on your detailed information that you give us, and then we'll tell you, okay, this is the best approach for you, or this is the best path for you with regards to your cybersecurity journey, because we know that you're a cybersecurity expert, right? A professional, I beg your pardon. And the goal is just for us to give you better standing, right? We need to give you experience, we need to give you projects, we need to give you ability to consult so that you have proof of both the certifications and the skills, right? So we have this this avenue for you in our space, in our program. So I believe that Prince can walk you through the rest, but this is just me telling you, well done. Well done. I'm quite impressed.
Okay. All right. So I think
Yeah.
what you should do, since this is your first time joining, have you completed the attendance form?
No, I haven't. But I'll
Okay.
look into it now. Let me see. I've got phone calls from you guys several times, but I wasn't ready. But now
Okay,
things have
so
changed. I need to be ready. So I need to make
okay.
moves. So I'm coming back to you guys. Because I've spoken to other providers, education providers, and it was similar kind of situation, but I'm looking for somewhere I could get my hands-on experience with people that I recognize, because sometimes it's just having that connection with our people, our Nigerian people. That is what I would like to do.
Okay.
No.
All right. So I think this is what is going to happen. My colleagues are on the call, so they would send you a message right now. They will get your details, and we'll see how we'll be able to communicate with you and take it off from there. Okay.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
that's fine. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, take care. All right.
You're welcome. Yeah. Just bye. Okay. So I think we have about a few minutes to go. So we have Joy Omori. Joy, you want to go ahead and unmute your mic?
Okay, good evening.
Hi, Joy. Good evening.
Good evening. Okay, I'm new here. I just want to know, I don't really know much about all this. I want to know the place where is it digital marketing, where it falls into and all of this.
Okay. All right. So this particular session that we are in right now is on cybersecurity. Okay.
Oh,
Now we have sessions like this that comes up every now and then. For a much more compact session, we have one coming up this coming Saturday. That is going to encompass all the programs. So if I go back to my slide, I'll be able to show you all the programs we offer. Okay. So let me go back to, we have a lot of programs that we do offer, whereby you are able to, okay, I think it's not on this slide.
It's we have
Okay,
it
it's
on
on
the
the first
second
page.
slide.
Yes.
Yes, the second page. Yes.
Yeah. So these are all the programs that we offer. All right. So how are you, do you say marketing or what did you say? What did you call it?
digital marketing, or is it
Digital marketing and data analysis. All right. So you see that particular session that is coming up on Saturday is going to touch base with data analysis, and also you will learn what you get to do as a data analyst. If you're looking to get a job as a marketing analyst, sales analyst, production analyst, operations analyst, and so many more, you want to get into data analysis. All right. So that session that will happen on Saturday will give you a further and much more elaborate opportunity to understand who these professionals are. And I think even on that Saturday, we have one of our several alumni that will be coming into that session and be telling you how he or she went through the training and how they were able to land a job, what they did themselves to be able to land a job. So for you that you have no experience at all or nothing, you've never joined a session like this before, keep it a date, clear your calendar. It's going to start around the same time this session starts, but it's going to be on Saturday. In this particular session, the person that will be taking the session is a co-founder of the company, right? FMN April. So you want to make sure you join that session. You have all the things you need and also get guidance on how to start the program, join the program, and take advantage of the discounts. Okay.
Okay, so if I got it correctly, it's not digital marketing, it's called data analysis.
So if you go through data analysis, you will be able to get a job as a marketing analyst, not digital marketing.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Marketing
You'll be able to get a job as a
okay.
marketing analyst. All right.
Okay. I think that's it. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, Joy. Joy, what part of the world are you joining us from?
I'm in Finland.
Finland. Okay, fantastic. So try to keep it a date and make sure you don't miss out on that session. Have you also completed the form? Have you filled the form?
No, I don't think so.
Right. So if there's anybody that is joining this session for the first time and you would love to get access to every other materials and even get updates to when we have a subsequent session coming up, you want to make sure you complete the form. You have my colleague drop that in the chat box all along. So you want to probably scroll up. You will see where you have to complete the attendance form. So make sure you complete that. That way, you will not just miss out on very key information that you might have been able to get access to. All right?
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, so do you have any further questions before we end it for the night? Do we have any further questions? All right. So let me see in the chat box if there's any that is left unattended, but I doubt it. So Sammy, have you gotten, so has somebody reached out to you? Have you shared the details with the person? Let me see. You can just drop a chat and you should be able to, or you can unmute your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
I hear. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at something else. Yeah. I just got your email. You can also send an email to Oluwatobi.
All right.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yes.
Yeah, I got the email. Yeah.
Fantastic. So send an email and we'll take it off from there. All right.
Cool. That's fine.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you very
Thank
much.
you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Looking forward to see you start the program soon. Okay. All right. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here. At the absence of any further questions, remember, anything that is called discount will not be available forever. And if you're looking to transition, now is about the time you want to take that action and see yourself transition. So you'll be able to key in, this is October, all right? By the time you start the program right now, you have November and December, and by January, you'll be able to tap into that hiring market where you have a lot of rush of organizations looking to hire in that role, in that space, and be able to key into that, see yourself taking advantage of everything that you've just started learning. All right. So at the absence of any further questions, thank you all for being here, spending your almost 2 hours with us. I do appreciate the time spent. But most importantly, I'll be looking forward to seeing each and every one of you start to join the program, either starting by 8th of November or 6th of December. All right. Enjoy the rest of the day. Cheers, everybody, and bye for now. Bye, everyone.
Bye.